Hey, so last week I was in Chandidasa and I was responding to a video about people taking advantage of other people and land and putting property in your wife's name, your girlfriend's name, and then having them rip you off and take you for a ride. And we talked about a couple of ways that you could minimise the damage or I guess go into a bit of damage control. I have been absolutely smashed with inquiries. I tell you what, look this way because you're sick of watching me. We're going past the lily ponds here in Chandy. We're just driving through one of those beautiful parts of Bali, winding our way up over the mountains. So you might as well have a look forward and I'll just keep talking. So we've been asked a heap of questions about the scams or the taking advantage of people's good intentions by locals, and I'll use the term locals generally because it's not specifically Balinese or Javanese or any other specific group of people, but there are thousands and thousands of people coming over to Bali looking for companionship, looking for a chance to rebuild their lives after divorces. And look, I know I'm going to get a heap of comments on this video, so please keep your comments respectful and by all means put them up, because there will be negative people saying, well, they shouldn't take advantage of young girls and whatever over here. Look, I've got to say, I've lived here for 5.5 years. There are literally thousands of girls living in Bali who are looking specifically for guys in their late 40s, 50s and 60s to provide them with a nice, comfortable, happy ever after, or a nice, comfortable way of living. In my case, I found an incredible lady who ultimately went on to help form the Bali Donate Foundation and runs a charity and is more concerned with helping other people than she is, to be honest, about looking after herself sometimes. And I got lucky. I really did find one in a billion. But there are thousands and thousands of women over here that are out there at night times in the clubs, in the streets, in the beaches, you name it, looking for vulnerable and gullible victims. And I'm going to use the terms quite brutally, so I'm sorry if this offends people, but they're looking for gullible victims that just want some companionship, that want to have an excuse to come back to Bali, and they find these lovely ladies who are very friendly, very accommodating. This is not talking about sex. This is not talking about the hookup culture. This is talking about something a fair bit more sinister and a fair bit more orchestrated than simply an overnight stay or a couple of days of temporary passion. And look, it's a sensitive subject, but I'm going to try and be as diplomatic and also as respectful as I can to all parties concerned. So you get a guy coming over here who's finds themselves under circumstances that they weren't expecting, often in their late 40s or 50s, and they meet some lovely young girl who makes them feel young and vibrant again, and the girl gives them every single answer to the questions that they're hoping for. And quite often, surprisingly enough, a lot of these girls are not putting out, are not going to the level of a sexual connection. They're actually refraining from that. Now maybe that's because they're not in it for a sexual relationship, they're in it for a financial relationship. But I can absolutely promise you, out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that I meet on a weekly basis, and certainly over the last 5 years, there are so few of the friends that I've learnt to, or come to know, that have ended up finding true romance or true friendships or honest relationships in Indonesia with local girls, compared to the hundreds and hundreds that have ended up with with a dishonest relationship, with someone who has literally scammed them out of thousands of dollars. And the frightening thing about it is it's not just the girls involved. Now, I'm saying girls because I'm speaking on behalf of me and my friends. Well, not certainly me, but on behalf of friends of mine and people that I've met through being on YouTube and through being in social media. And I do meet ladies who have been over here looking for companionship or looking for just for a friendship. A lot of those ladies, I know quite a few ladies who've met up with Indonesian men and had quite good relationships. Overwhelmingly, it goes bad. Overwhelmingly, it ends up with someone spending exorbitant amounts of money. I checked the monkeys out. There we go, there's a couple of monkeys for you. Spending exorbitant amounts of money helping feed a family, helping put some kids through college, helping to fix someone's mum's operation. Oh, here we go, there's a big fella, I'm about to run over him. Be careful. Oh, a little baby one over there. I love the monkeys up around the Chandy Dasa Mountains. So, back to me for a minute, because I'm trying to concentrate. Almost everyone that I know that ends up getting into these sex scams or these relationship scams is invited up to the village within a fairly brief period of time. Come up and meet my family, come up and meet my aunties or my kids or my brothers. The amount of look, if you think that you are the only person she's ever said this to, if you think that you're special because she's made you say, oh, look, I don't normally do this, but you seem like such a nice man, and I really feel like a special bond with you or something, then I've got a bridge in Sydney with beautiful harbour views for sale, and honestly, almost without fail, those people have the same story. My husband left me, or my husband beat me, or blah blah blah. And they'll come up with a horrible story. There's similarities between what they'll tell you and what they'll say to the guy that they meet next week are almost identical. And as soon as my friends or the people sit down with me and say, let me tell you what happened to me last week, I'll go, oh my God, not another one. So guys, these ladies don't necessarily work in packs. Yeah, you can look forward now, I'm sick of it. They don't necessarily work in a pack, but I'll tell you who they do work with sometimes, and a lot of the times, they work with their own family. So when you go up to the village, the family go, oh my God, what a beautiful, what a lovely man, he's so nice, welcome to our village, just some little ceremony, would you like a bubby gulling? Now listen, a lot of people say, oh, she even offered to pay for a taxi. And then my standard question is, but did she pay for the taxi? Did she pay for the bubby girling? Or did she pay to take your parents out to dinner? Or did they pay to take you out for dinner? Or, because you're the nice white, the knight in shining armour, did you pay the lot, but felt good about it because they offered? Because this is one of the biggest ploys they'll do, is turn around and say, don't worry, we'll pay, and you think, so she's not after my money, she genuinely does like me. And to be honest, if you're divorced and going through a heartbreak and trying to rebuild your life, the one thing you want is some girl that's going to make you feel vibrant and worthwhile and look up to you and admire you. Do you think they don't know this already? Because unfortunately, they know it better than you've only been in this age once. They are dealing with men in this vulnerable position every single day of the week and every week of the year. So most of these girls will have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 guys at a time that they're writing to, that they're staying in touch with, that they're juggling. And if you only sent one of them $50 a week just to help out, to cover the rent, I know so many guys that have turned around and said, listen, let me put you in an apartment. And oh look, I'd rather have the money. You know why? because someone else is already paying for her apartment. She might have 5 or 6 or 10 other guys paying for her apartment. She wants money. She can't live in 6 apartments, but she can certainly do with half a dozen times the income that you're otherwise going to be paying. It's so frustrating for me to be able to hear these stories over and over and over and over and over again and know exactly what's about to come next. Guys, don't be gullible, don't be stupid, don't think you're the only person that she's ever said this to. Don't think because she took you to meet her parents that they may not even be her parents, or they may be her parents that are in on the scam. And they're just sitting there going, well, yeah, where's that guy last week? He had more money than that guy this week. You'll never know what they're saying behind your back, because 99% of the time they're going to be saying in another language. This is the most widespread scam in Bali. You go to the village, you meet the family, then they'll turn around and they play the long game. If they don't ask for anything up front, that's when I think you've got to be even more worried, because if they're playing the long game, you're in it for a bigger portion of the pie. They'll turn around, they won't ask for anything for the first 2 or 3 months, for the first visit or whatever. And then they'll turn around and they'll send you a message and say, look, I'm sorry to tell you, but Mum's just had an accident, she's in hospital, is there any chance you could help me out? And you have so much confidence in this lady, because she's never asked you for anything else. She's even offered to pay taxi fares. She's even taken you up to the village and met the uncle and met the brothers, and then suddenly something goes wrong and something happens. Look at this traffic now, we're in the middle of nowhere, and it's still bumper to bumper. It's such a beautiful day. And so your guard is down, your defences are down, and you think, oh my, that poor girl, and all I want to do is help her, and my $500 is nothing for me compared to what it's going to be to help her mum get out of hospital, or to help her sister with a broken leg, or to fix the family car or the scooter or something because they've got no money. This same scam happens not only with ladies, it also happens with drivers, with personal drivers who you've contracted to go for a day. It happens with people that you get to spend a bit of time with. And I use the analogy, imagine getting into a taxi in New York and having the driver say, would you like to come around and meet my mum? You would turn around and say, what a weird thing to say. Well, if someone's inviting you around to meet their family, or to see where they live or their village, there's really only one main reason why they want to do that. They want you to see how poor they are, so that they can then turn around and say, can you help me? And I hate to say, but there are so many incidences. I'm going to tell you, back to me for a sec, I'm going to tell you about a mate of mine called Brian. I love Brian. He's a really close mate. He got a friend who had become his driver. He was a regular to Bali, and the driver said, oh, would you like to come up and see where I live, meet my family? And he felt very honoured. He felt that he was the only person that this guy had ever asked to come back, that they'd actually formed a very special bond. And I said, Brian, be really, really careful, because almost without doubt the reason they're asking you to come up and see and meet their family or see where they live is because they're going to try and put and he was a generous guy, a generous tipper, a lovely guy, and a very, very vulnerable guy at the same time. So Brian went up to the village, met the family, and while he was there and had a beautiful lunch and got to meet everyone, and everyone was very welcoming, very accommodating, made him feel very much a part of the environment. They then turned around and said, we're sort of hoping that we can convert this old building or this little area into a motorbike washing station, and it's only going to cost us about 25,000 of your money to build this motorbike washing station in the village in the middle of nowhere. And then if we can, my wife was thinking about putting a nail tech salon behind the washing station, and that's only going to be like another $15,000. So he was asking for a donation or for a gift of close to 40,000 Australian dollars that was going to help set him and his family up for life and give them a chance to be self-sufficient, make their own money. If it honestly cost $25,000 to set up a bike washing station. How do you think bikes would ever get cleaned in a country where the average wage is about $300 a month? I said to Brian, be really careful. I went and bought a water blaster the other week, and it cost me about 120 bucks for a pretty good quality one. It's 120 Australian dollars, not 25,000 Australian dollars. Now, this guy did eventually build a little motorbike washing station. I'm certain it didn't cost him anything like the money that he quoted to Brian. Or he found someone else that was more than generous and or less prepared than Brian was. But why would people invite you to their home if they live in poverty? Unless it's to ask you for money. Unless it's to find people that are generous and caring and want to help other people, and in turn take advantage of those people and end up ripping you off blind. And I'm sorry to say, but it does happen all the time, every single day of the week in Bali. So many times the girls at the nightclubs aren't there just being girls at nightclubs. If you live in Bali, the girls at the nightclubs can't afford to go out and drink prices that the nightclubs are charging. So the only reason they're there is to be a hostess. Sometimes they're sponsored by the venue. Sometimes they're there at the behest of their minder. And sorry to say, but if some young hot girl walks up to you at a nightclub, there's only one thing on her mind, and that's your back pocket or your wallet. And it's really generally not anything to do with, oh, this poor lonely 45, 55-year-old man genuinely looks like he's looking for some companionship and a nice chat, and take it from there. So guys, I can't say this anymore importantly. Be on your guard. Realise that almost everyone over here that takes you to see how they live in poverty, that reaches that part of your soul that you think, oh my God, these poor people. Most of those people are just playing the angle, and nearly every single one of them plays it this week, next week, the week after, and the week after. And it's a numbers game. If they get 1 in every 10 people fall for it, they're doing better off than most people that work for a living are. And it's a job for them. And like I said, their families, their uncles, their brothers, the whole area is in on it. Now, I know this in greater part because my wife is a local, and she hears them talking to each other and to their friends, and they will openly talk about exploiting and taking advantage of the bulle, of the Westerners, of the fat old Aussie blokes that come over here looking for some attention. So there's more to it, guys. This is just one little tip of the iceberg. I've been asked so many times to do a video all about the hookup scene, the hookup culture that's in Bali. And I'll be honest, I've only ever been to Bali as a part of a couple. In fact, Fee and I knew each other for quite some time before I even got to Bali, and I wasn't going to nightclubs and trying to pick up girls, so I sort of don't really know a lot of first-hand information about that. But I know a lot of friends who come over here regularly just to meet and enjoy the companionship they get here in Bali. So I will try and creatively do a video in the next couple of weeks about the hookup culture. And look, what I'm saying applies to Bali, but it also applies to Philippines, and it applies to Malaysia, and it applies to the whole of Southeast Asia. There are groups of people who have learned how to get our sympathy, how to milk us for every dollar that they can possibly get, when to run, how to do it carefully, and what to say to elicit the most sympathetic response from you guys. And I'm just trying to be a voice of reason, saying the easiest way to find out if they're real or not is to stop giving them money. Is to turn around and say, look, I'm really sorry, I've just lost my job. And if suddenly they go quiet or they don't talk to you, you'll know that they were only there because you had money or because they thought you did. And not many people are going to go over and say I'm unemployed or I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing pretty poorly or I'm financially down or something. Most of us try to build it up and say, yeah, well, I'm an executive and I'm this and I'm that. And those girls are just sitting there looking, picking them off and waiting to see how quickly you pull your wallet out and if they've got to work hard for it or if you make it so easy for them that it's just a no-brainer. You're not the only one. I'm sorry to say that they do this as a full-time job every single week. The ladies in the nail salons, the ladies that in the massage places, the ladies in the nightclubs, the drivers that take you and your family up to the palaces and the monkey temples and all that sort of stuff. If they get 10 minutes to sit down and talk to you, then they will. Not all of them. I know. Look on, please don't for a second think that every lady in a nightclub is out there looking to scam you. But none of those ladies can afford to go there and drink Western prices on drinks. And there's only one reason they're there, is because if they go out, they're either going to get free drinks or a hell of a lot more. And sex is usually the lowest thing on that whole list of expectations. It's the money, it's the generosity, it's your emotions and your ability to, your empathy that they're looking at and they're looking for, because that pays off big dividends. The amount of people, I can tell you, I can honestly name a dozen people right now that have spent more than $50,000 helping people in remote communities just to upgrade the uncle's house or to buy a new motorbike or to buy a car. And again, as I said in the previous video, you put something in someone else's name, don't ever expect it back again, because there are many people that just play that angle and they're getting rich on your money, and not only yours but everyone else. As soon as you jump on a plane and go home, they're looking for their next mark. And then sometimes you come over, you don't tell them you're coming. Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, I wasn't expecting you to come. Sorry, but I've got to go up to the village this week because mum's not well, or there's a ceremony. And it's because there's another guy in town that they're already booked into. Be careful. Don't believe that you've got the system worked out, because as soon as you think you've got it organised or you've got the plan in your mind, they will turn around, and they've played this game more times than you ever will, and they're way better at it than you or me or most of those people out there. So keep safe, guys. I hope I hope I've made my point clear enough. I can't say it more strongly. Be careful, be aware, keep your eyes open, and the minute they ask you to go back and see their village, ask yourself, why would they do this? Other than the fact that they just want to get some more of that, they want to get some more of this, and they want to see if you're the sort of guy that's going to step up and finance them, their family, their kids, their circumstance. They've all got a terrible story to let you know about. I feel so sorry for them, and I do spend 99% of my life over here in Bali helping other people. We're driving as we speak up to the village. We're in a place called Amalapura at the moment, and we're heading up to up near Ahmed to spend a couple of days looking after over 1,000 people that are doing it poor, that have circumstances you and I could never even begin to imagine. We're taking a whole hospital worth of doctors and staff and pharmaceutical people, so that we can help the people that really do need the help. Not because they've invited us, but because we went and found people that genuinely need help. So I'm saying this from the back of someone who is incredibly generous, someone and an environment of people and friends who have been a part of this journey for 5 years, and all I'm trying to do is protect the vulnerable and the people that really genuinely often don't have the money that they would like to think they do to be able to help others. Good luck, guys. Have fun. And before I crash, I better watch what I'm doing. See you guys. See you later.